Welcome back to Head Coach Curt Mallory's weekly press conference as Indiana State is gearing up for the Western Illinois Leathernecks this weekend in Terre Haute for Senior Day. Coach, we'll just open up with an opening statement from you for coming off Youngstown State and looking ahead to another challenge with the Leathernecks this weekend.
Well, every week we'll have a heck of a challenge. Obviously, this week will be no different. Western Illinois is a great football team this year, ranked 11th in the country. About last week wasn't the performance obviously any of us wanted, but give Youngstown State some credit. We're going to move forward. Got with our team on Sunday, watched the film extensively, went through the film, and learned from some of the good and learned from some of the bad. And we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We're going to get back to work. And that's the approach we took yesterday, and that's the approach we're going to take this week until we get 1-0.
You mentioned, Coach, that the final score wasn't anything you guys won over the weekend, but I think for a team that's in a winless hole and they dig themselves a 28-0 hole, a lot of teams would lay down and just let the opponent continue to dominate them for the rest of the game. Your team didn't do that. What did you see from the response? I know it was Lamont's run that really kind of sparked you guys there at the end of the first quarter with the 77-yard run. But what did you like from your team in the second quarter that made it a ball game going into halftime, and I'm sure probably changed the whole complexion of what that halftime locker room was going to be like after the end of the first quarter?
Well, obviously we didn't start as fast as we wanted to. Offensively, we went 3 and out 4 times in a row, and they went down and scored. And next thing you know, it's 28-0. But you know what? Lamont had a nice run. It was great to see him break one. His longest run of the year. And then to score off of that. That was a great way. It was a great momentum. And then Jaquette comes back with a long pass, and we're back in it. And kids kept fighting, and it was great to see. And certainly wanted to come out the second half and continue to fight, and things didn't go our way. We had some nice things go our way. Had a fake punt. It was good to see Marlon Fleming execute with a good throw by Thomas Bolden. But didn't come out second half like we were hoping.
Has Thomas been taking any reps at the quarterback spot recently?
I think Coach Eklinski's joked with Coach Abrams just about we're 3 for 3 on special teams, but nonetheless well executed, and players made the plays.
When you look at offensively, what was the biggest differences you saw of not being able to move the football and going 3 and out, as you mentioned, on your first 4 possessions? And then, as you said, I know a lot of it was probably just well-executed plays, but what was the difference really there in the second quarter that allowed you guys to start to move the football and have some success?
Well, I think they did a good job defensively, putting 9 in the box, and their safeties gotten tightened down. And, we were able to complete some long passes at times. Got one out to Bob Pugh. We were able to get one out to Rontrez Morgan. But they did a good job handling the run when things and made us earn that. Defensively, we just got the ball behind us way too many times. And there was times where we got a quarterback. But as we talked on Saturday, it's a position here, a position there. It's not one that we can put our finger on. Obviously, we'll always start with myself and the coaching staff and putting these young men in position to be successful. But at the end of the day, it was just a play here, play there by different positions.
When you look at defensively, Cottrell Moss was able to pick up his first sack in his Sycamore career. When he got it, it was kind of a surprise to me that a guy like him, as well as he has played, and wherever he's out on the field, it was the first time he ever recorded a sack. But he's just been one of those guys. You spoke highly of Lamont, of course, last week and this week with his effort in that game against Youngstown State. Cottrell's another guy that we've seen at times this year when he's off the field, he's off the field because of how big of a presence he has defensively for your club.
Cottrell's been a captain since day one of the season. Leads by example. He's getting better at being out in front. But he brings it every day, and you feel him out there. He loves Indiana State, loves this football program, and it shows. It shows in what he puts into it. A lot of guys wouldn't be able to go through what he's going through. He's battled a lot of injuries and has fought through them, and he's as tough a guy that I've been around.
When you look towards this weekend against Western Illinois, can you Can you rest any easier knowing that Jeff Heklinski's not going to suit up at quarterback for the Leathernecks?
Well, I know he's got a lot of war stories when playing at Western Illinois and coming here, and Brandenburg putting him on the turf a few times. So, but a lot of good memories, and obviously we want to get back to playing that type of football.
When you look at this team, I know I say that jokingly. You mentioned their ranking. Of course, any team in this league, just for them being in this league, you know it's going to be a quality opponent. Mm-hmm. What is it about Western Illinois that has made them get the ranking that they have? And they were on the road pretty much all non-conference season. Were able to beat up on some pretty quality opponents as well.
Done a remarkable job of developing their kids. And bottom line, you look at them up front, their offensive line, predominantly a senior group that has just gotten bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, they're as physical a bunch up front. Their quarterback is a great competitor. They've done a great job with their wide receiving core. They've got 2 tailbacks that they'll utilize. They have an athletic tight end. They're very dangerous on offense. But the thing I'm most impressed with is this just their development, in that they've come each year they've gotten better. I watched their film from 3 years ago because we had a crossover game where I was at before. Watched them last year, and now watch them this year, that they've steadily gotten better, and their program is going in the right direction.
What is it about the Leathernecks defensively? They get so much attention because of how many weapons they have on the offensive side of the football. How is this group defensive-wise, and the challenges they present in trying to move the football against them?
Well, it always starts up front, and they've got, I was talking with Coach Heklinski about their nose guard, and a nose guard may be as good a nose guard as we faced since we played Tennessee, and but it always starts in the middle of your defense, and it certainly does with the Leathernecks, and with their nose guard. But they got 2 linebackers that are very, very good, and Brett Taylor and Quentin Moon. Brett Taylor is their leader. He's the guy that is out in front. He's their captain. But it always starts with the middle of their defense. Their secondary, with their safeties, same thing, physical, tough. But anytime you have a good, solid defense, it always starts in the middle.
You already kind of mentioned the success they've had offensively is due to what they have up front, but what about their skill position guys that kind of makes the defensive coordinators and Coach Wilson and everybody across the league really have a lot of sleepless nights when they're trying to prepare for the Leathernecks?
Well, their top receiver is Jalen Acklin, and he's good of receivers we have in our conference, and he can score at any moment, and as well as their tailback McShane. So they've got 2 guys that can explode and score at any moment. But that's not all they got. They got they'll come in, even though McShane may be their explosion guy. You have Max Norris just from right down the road at Center Grove, who's their leading carrier and or leading rusher, excuse me. And then they got other wide receivers other than Acklin that are very, very dangerous. Brandon Gaston was a young man that we recruited at Michigan, and his older brother is playing in the NFL, Bruce Gaston, who played at Purdue. And but fine player. And they got another young man, Isaiah LaShore. But all of them spread the ball out, get the ball out pretty equally, and it all starts again with their quarterback play and Sean McGuire. And if you just watch the last 2 minutes of a game, you see how many games he's pulled out, and that shows his competitiveness right there.
Let's look towards your team now this weekend. It's going to be Senior Day. And, of course, Senior Day can always be a day filled with a lot of emotion, regardless of where you're at in your season. Just for this senior class, Coach, when you came in, of course, sometimes that can be the hardest group maybe get to buy into you just because there's been one set of ways. They've been doing something for a long time, and all of a sudden it's different.
Sure.
What really do you say about this senior class and the guys that you'll be honoring on Saturday afternoon and what they have done to really help buy in, not just to you, but in the way you're trying to build this into a championship program?
Well, the senior class has done a tremendous job. They've come to work, worked hard, and I can, go through each and every one of them. We always talk about opportunities with these guys and how many opportunities you're going to have to play this great game. And whether it be practice, whether these last 2-3 games that we've been talking to them about and what it meant to them. And obviously these guys have put a tremendous amount into this program and the love they have for Indiana State, and that they'll come back someday and visit this great place and see a lot of their former teammates. But when we do win a championship, it'll be mainly because of the foundation that these young men have built here at Indiana State.
You mentioned that foundation. I know it's really all of those guys, but the importance in having them buy in, but also understand that, talking to all of your coaches, I know it's a term that maybe gets overused nowadays, whether it's trust the process or that phrase, but you guys from day one have always preached attitude, effort. It's not necessarily about the end result, it's how we get there. Mm-hmm. And it's making sure you're doing those things the right way along the way. Not just the senior class, but how has your team continue to do that? And as you continue to prepare, that makes you and the staff know that you guys are taking the right steps in the right direction, and that your guys know that as well. And this is going in the direction that you guys want it to go to, even though you've yet to have the real evidence support at the end of the day on a Saturday.
Sure. It's, it's hard to, a lot of, what a lot of people talk about or what a lot of people see is the score. And rightfully so. I do want to start off by saying, with the crowd, you go out on to the stadium, go out to the game, and people there are cheering us on, the support we're getting, and that's gonna grow, obviously. But I can't thank the people that have supported us and been with us, and the fans and the alumni. But it goes back to the type of young men they are and how they approached their work yesterday. It's never easy. Went out there into the gymnasium in North Gym, and they're locked in, they're focused. It wasn't drudgery. It was, they wanted to be there. And I've been on teams that are 0-9, and it was drudgery. And they didn't want to be there. They didn't want to be around their teammates. They want to be around their coaches. That's not the case. The reason why I'm so confident in the direction of this program is because I've been in this position before. I've been around teams that have been in this position before, and I've also been in places where you got it flipped. And I knew the reason why you got it flipped was the work ethic that these young men are bringing. They bring it every day. They bring it in the classroom. They bring in the focus. We got to continue to help these young men, put them in position to be successful, and that's our job as coaches, and we'll continue to do that.
And Coach, finally, what's it going to take on Saturday? I know your message really never changes. It's always to go 1-0, but specifically against the Leathernecks, what will it take to be 1-0 on Saturday?
Well, I think the thing we've got to be able to do is withstand the bad, withstand the onslaught, to use a term, and that's our job. That's our job, to help these young men when things aren't going good. Hey, it's okay. We're gonna be. Let's get through it, because we're gonna have good. Things are gonna come our way. They came on Saturday, but when something goes wrong, let's make a stand. And if things don't go right on the offensive side, well, let's get to that next play and let's make something happen. But that's our job as coaches, to make adjustments to help them to get through that. And as you saw on Saturday, we had some nice plays. We had some of those plays, but let's get those a little sooner, and let's stay in the game so we can get to the fourth quarter to win it.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck against Western Illinois.
Okay, thank you.